Welcome back, guys and girls, to another episode of Dad's Toy Garage, and we're bringing you Project Snake Charmer again. It's a 1970, well, started life out as a 1972 Toyota Celica, and we've done a lot of crazy stuff to it, all in the name of we want to go fast on a budget. And let's just say we put a 2015 Mustang Ecoboost and 6-speed transmission in this car. It's got a completely scratch-built square tube frame and floor. We've done a wide body on the back half. The front half is coming. We've got Mazda Miata front suspension and the Mustang S550 rear suspension. And that engine is set 18 inches back, so it's going to hook up real nice with that weight distribution being 50-50 or very close to it. Yeah, so this video series today, we are going to be getting into a little bit of battery relocation. Tony's going to be cleaning up some more wiring, and I would like to get that firewall done and get the steering wheel installed and the pedals installed. So let's see if we can hit our mark, get that stuff done. Follow along, let's have some fun with this one, guys. Here's our driver's seat, and Tony's head is still hitting the roof with this thing. So I'm going to look at maybe taking an inch or so, if I can get an inch and a half out of the side here. We'll start with that and see if that works for us. Things to note that will have to be put back in their places. This spring for this thing, it'll need a tab moved higher up here. Then these rails here, if you look down this side, they run pretty much dead even with where these springs mount, so they'll have to get welded back on. So I think I'll cut them off first. So for the second round of driver's seat mods, I've cut her apart the tracks off of the seat base, and I've taken out at least this much here. This is one of the pieces that was in here, so that's about an inch almost. That should help a little bit. If we have to, we'll shave the cushion on the bottom. I'd rather not, because it's a nice tight fit at this point. And so I found a location that allows me to still keep this is the adjustment, like when you move it up and down, the seat tracks move backwards and forwards. I figured out how to do that. This one's still got it here, and so this will just get welded into this place here. And then they're just tacks, and then I'm going to check it to make sure it still lines up in the car. This side of the seat track is also now tacked in 3 places, as you can see. And the next thing will be test fitting into the car. I got the seat base bolted in, and I figure it's best to weld the base right along here on both sides while it was in the car. So let's get on that. And I got this seat fabric secure rod down, welded in place. So we gotta do the other side yet. I got the other seat fabric upholstery securing rod in. So on each side I've just kind of transferred. Used to be that the spring would go straight up and down. Now I've tucked it into here and onto a tab that it was using before. So you should be able to see that the seat with the cushion on there now, this area here is a lot lower, so that should help a lot with headspace in the car. And the completed seat, it's dirty, but so is my shop. You can see it's much closer to the seat rails now. It actually looks good now. I like that. Let's go test fit it in the car. And the seat is installed, and it has a much nicer seating position now. You can see it's a lot lower from where it was. So up on the headroom, I got at least a fist and a half when I'm sitting in Tony's position there. Alright, in my Miata here, the pedals are actually a little higher than I remembered them being, but I like the feel. I'm guessing part of it being a driver's car. So the driver pedal is 4.5, or the gas pedal. This one is about 5 3/4 to 6 inches on the brake, and the clutch is about the same. And spacing between the two we give ourselves 2 inches, that would be the same. And on this side, 1 3/4 inches. There's a bit of setback here. I want to say 1/2 inch, which makes sense for heel and toe. Hey, what you working on?
I just finished mounting the bracket for where the PCM is going. So the PCM is going to lay underneath the battery junction box. And a little bracket here just so it can hold nice. No straight angles or straight pieces of metal on this car, it seems like. So here, you can see that. And then this will sit on top of it right here. So yeah, so all of our electrical mess is hopefully going to be kind of hidden in one area.
It's nice and tidy.
Yeah.
Cool. Looking up under the dashboard here, it's kind of where the steering wheel column is. We decided to build a new firewall, and this is the piece here, the new firewall. So here it is, just kind of laid in place. Goes up under the dash, welds to the original, I guess, top of the cowl, base of the where the wipers sit. And we've also made marks. The Celicas have a bit of a crease here. We've kind of came to the conclusion that that crease is even with where our pedals need to sit in order for them to be kind of functional for both of us. So we're going to start with that, and then we'll be able to bolt our pedals down to that. Alright, I got the steering column welded on to this crossbar, the one I was telling you guys about before. And I got the bar running from here to this brace, and then I did one from the trans tunnel to the other side brace. So she's nice and stiff. So now it telescopes and it goes up and down. Here is the firewall. It's done now. The accelerator pedal will mount on here, and the clutch and brake will mount on here. The accelerator is a little bit further forward on purpose. It also needs a clearance for the engine, and the oil filter is back there. So we did modify the firewall in that sense. I've cut out all of this, and then once I have the pedals and the weld nuts done, and the location finalized, I'll extend this into here to fill that void. I just finished installing our Ecoboost Mustang accelerator pedal. It's a drive-by-wire setup, so I understand the position the pedal's in tells an electric motor at the throttle body where to go. So it's mounted to the firewall, and the other thing we did is, if you look at it, I've brought it closer to the transmission tunnel over here to give us the extra needed pedal space. And it's a plastic pedal, so we heated it up with a heat gun and slid it over and pushed it back. So an angle change of that way and that way. And so that's the unit right there. Do you want a donut?
Thanks.
We need
finally ready to mount this. So I was fighting with an exhaust bolt for quite a while that broke off when I took the car apart. One of the exhaust downpipe to turbo flange, or whatever you want to call it, bolts broke, and I tried welding it out and it didn't work. Now I've drilled it out, and I still have enough threads that I'm going to try to stick a factory bolt in. If it pulls out, then I can put a nut on the other side and keep it in place that way. But for now, I'm just going to try to just, it's threading in okay. So we're finally, this is probably about 4 hours spent with this altogether for me. So
actually, there's a bit of time just on an almost new car, right?
Yeah, I was a little frustrated that so this bolt broke, and it was, on a car that has 18,000 kilometers, it's a little frustrating, right? But
yeah.
We'll see if we can mount the exhaust now.
All right, let me get in there. How much tolerance you got there?
Quite a bit.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'll have to make a little less tolerance for you when I build you a firewall.
Sweet.
So now we have straight pipes?
Yeah, now I might need to get you to come over here and hold it.
Okay. So now that we got the accelerator pedal mounted, I'm going to work with the clutch and brake assembly here. And the plan is to flat weld this to our firewall. And everything almost lined up, but I had to put a spacer bar here. But now if you look down the side, all the bolts are level. And I'm going to tack weld those all to the firewall. And that should get us what we need to pull this thing on and off, hopefully. Okay, pedals are all mounted. There's going to have to be some tweaking now. We want to get the spacing right on the brake pedal here, so that we'll have to torch heat it and bend it over a little bit, but that's the next part of this install.
Hey, Devin here was asking me about the wiring, and we're only keeping, so this connection, this is what factory is, right? For all your airbags and stuff, the RCM here. And I only need to keep one power wire for this. This one I'm just finished now. So these wires all were pinned in here. That's all we need. So it's 2 out of a 60 pin plug that are going to be left. That's just for communication, so it can communicate with the BCM, so the fuel pump gets enabled and stuff. But yeah.
This box is full of wires that we trimmed out of our harness, and the harness is looking a lot thinner. I would say at least 10-ish pounds of wire there, maybe 15. But yeah, she's full. That was today's progress. Took quite a while to do, but there's a lot less wire in the car now. It looks like a mess right now, but we still got to tidy that up, and there'll be more wires coming out of there yet. Thanks for joining me and Tony on another episode of Dad's Toy Garage, working on our Project Snake Charmer. It's been a lot of fun, this car, and we've got a couple things done today. Tony's got a bunch of wiring things done, got that exhaust bolt drilled out, and the one with the head broke off. Got the exhaust mounted. Got to do a little bit of finish work on the exit point through the rocker quarter area. I got that seat lowered. Pedals are now in, needing a little bit of adjustments. The tilt and telescopic steering is working. So I think we would both like to get this car running next episode. So hopefully we can figure out what the spark issue is on it. Once it's running, we can run lines and realistically take this thing for a little bit of a test drive. That would be cool to see that happen within the next month. So if that's next episode, let's look forward to that. I can't promise anything, but we sure would like to see how hard this thing pulls with its lightweight and light motor with a little bit of a horsepower thing going on. So until next time, guys, we will talk to you later.